In this video, I'm going to share 5 of the best ways for you to market your dental practice. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Dawson. I'm a dental marketing expert, and I've been helping dentists across the US grow their practices. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. Thanks for stopping by again. I did get a haircut, so it's not someone else in the thumbnail. It's me. It was a much needed haircut. Anyway, just want to get that out of the way up front. If you do have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to answer them. All right, let's jump to our first topic. Our first point is having a website that converts. Now, if you're a dentist, you probably already have a website. It might be professionally made by a dental marketing company that specializes in web development, or maybe you just had a neighborhood kid make it that was pretty good at making websites. No matter what you got, the most important thing to figure out is, does my website convert? Meaning, do the people that see my website want to pick up the phone and actually call my practice? Now, you can spend a lot of money on developing the website, having the right pictures, an amazing video, but if it doesn't convert in the end, if people see it and they don't want to pick up the phone and call you, then you're doing something wrong. Here are some keys to keep in mind when you're making your website. It's important on your homepage to answer any potential objections a patient could have when they're looking at it for the first time. Meaning, if they're not sure if you accept their insurance company, or maybe they're confused on where you're located, if it's not at the bottom or if it's not easily seen on your homepage, it may be a little difficult convincing them to come in. No one wants to spend the time to browse around your website, click through every page, and find the information. So make sure that you have location, information about insurance, easily accessible on your site. Another good way to separate yourself is to build a lot of authority. I talked about this in some other videos, but make sure you have logos of your alma mater, maybe various dental organizations that you're affiliated with, maybe a nice professional video, something that can make you stand out from someone across the street. Another thing to keep in mind is people make decisions based off emotion and then use logic and reason to back it up. Meaning, if you have your website open next to one of your competitors, pay attention to how your website makes you feel. This may sound kind of weird, but I would encourage you to try and see it through the eyes of a potential patient. They're going to look at you, they're going to look at this other dentist, and they're going to wonder which dentist is going to listen to me. What dentist is going to care about the things that I care about? Maybe they're not thinking this consciously, but this is definitely something that's happening subconscious to what they're thinking. Getting some great video footage of a patient coming in, getting a treatment done, or getting just a regular cleaning done can go a long way. This helps someone seeing your site for the first time be able to visualize their experience in the eyes of that patient. So if they see a video of them walking into the office for the first time and they're greeted by the front desk that's smiling and is happy to see them, then they're going to be able to visualize themselves being in the same place. The second way to market your practice is to build up a base of reviews. Reviews can typically take on the curve of an exponential graph, meaning starting out, it's hard trying to find people to come in. Maybe you get a few here, a few there, and then the more reviews you get, the more people are going to start to feel comfortable. The more people are going to be able to perceive that you know what you're talking about and you know what you're doing. A couple things to keep in mind with reviews is I've heard mixed thoughts about Yelp, especially if you're the business owner in this situation. Yelp can kind of serve as this one person put it, a mob or the mafia. So be careful, especially if you hear from a Yelp salesperson. There's just been stories out there of them trying to not only sell you their service, but if you don't sign up for their service, then they go ahead and take down some of your positive reviews and even leave fake negative reviews. So kind of weird, almost a conspiracy theory, if you will. I will link an article where a restaurant owner goes into detail about this. Just weird things happening. Look into that, see what you think. But my advice would be to kind of stay away from Yelp and only respond to the negative reviews. In terms of Google's policy for reviews, a couple things I want to highlight or point out are they don't want you to hand out money or gifts in exchange for reviews. There's obviously some laws behind that for good reasons, but in that case, don't necessarily say anything about incentivizing your staff or encouraging your staff to get those reviews. Let's take a look at Google's policy for getting reviews. One thing to keep in mind is they don't like seeing reviews come in bulk. So if you send out maybe a mass email or mass text asking for reviews, just be mindful that Google doesn't love that. They're not very fond of that. So try and get your reviews to kind of trickle in, if you will. Another point I wanted to highlight about Google's policy is they don't like when you pay for reviews. In fact, that's illegal. There's some laws behind that for good reason. But when it comes to encouraging your staff, even incentivizing your staff, there aren't necessarily any policies behind that. So be sure to have a method or have a system for getting reviews and for keeping that perpetual. One more thing I want to say about reviews before we move on is be sure to get a couple of video reviews. These can definitely go a long way, especially when someone's on your site. They're about to pick up the phone, but maybe they're just a little bit hesitant. Having someone that they can hear from, just their experience, why they came in, what made their visit worthwhile, really goes a long way. All right, moving on to the third way to market your practice. Drum roll, please. Having an amazing patient experience. When it comes to this topic, this is typically where we see the greatest dentists separate themselves from the average dentists. Going above and beyond with your customer service, being sure to give or provide a patient experience that is notable and goes above and beyond really helps with reviews, really helps with your morale in terms of your staff, and really just helps you enjoy working and enjoy doing what you love. I would encourage you to put yourself in the patient's shoes, maybe even start from the parking lot and try and imagine what it would be like walking into your practice for the first time. Maybe as you're walking to the office and you're being aware of what a patient would see, you spot some dirt on the window, maybe that hasn't been there before, or maybe maybe the door closes a little bit harder in the winter time because of the temperature difference, something that you don't notice because you take the back way. Just paying attention to these little details can really help you improve and really help you go above and beyond someone across the street. So here are some of the best practices when you're creating that perfect patient experience. Make sure to have shaded glasses in every room. When you're doing a procedure and the patient is staring up at the light, maybe for 20 to 30 minutes, just going the extra mile, having that shaded eyewear really allows them to not think about how bright the light is and can pay attention to something else as you're doing your procedure. Another thing is never to leave them alone in a room. Maybe you send your assistant in, or maybe even the front desk if you don't have anyone else, just to keep them company as you're maybe working on a lab or doing something else in the office. This just allows them to, especially if they're already anxious when they're coming in for the first time, having someone there to almost take their mind off the fact that they're in a practice, to say it probably very bluntly, that can go a long way as well. Another standard is not to play the news, especially nowadays with the news being all crazy. I'm sure it's always been crazy, but especially now it's intensified, I feel like. Maybe it'd be better to play maybe the home improvement channel. Maybe they're remastering or renovating a master bedroom. That's probably more enjoyable to watch than hearing about coronavirus or something else going on in the news. Also keep in mind on how much time they spent in the chair, especially if they're reclined or they're in kind of an awkward position. Just mentally keep that in mind as you have to grab something. It might be best just to have everything in the room at once. So it's the shortest amount of time possible for them, and then it's more efficient for you so you can do the procedure and then go on to the next patient. Another thing to keep in mind is be sure you're affirming your patients or your staff, even for the small things. If a patient shows up maybe a couple minutes early, be sure to affirm them on that and thank them for being punctual and being an adult for showing up on time. Even with your staff, if they go above and beyond or they're really on it that day, be sure to compliment them and be specific on the reason why. People really remember those compliments, especially if they're genuine and especially if it's very specific. Sharing from personal experience, I remember this was years ago. I got a compliment from a hygienist as they were cleaning my teeth. I was moving, it sounds weird. I was moving my head and like positioning my mouth like in the most convenient way possible for them. And they noticed and they said, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Like, you always have your head in the best spot, which is such a strange compliment for anyone else, but it was very specific. They actually meant it. It was genuine, and it was something I was like trying to help them out with. So I still remember that. That was years ago, and I still remember it. So that's just the power of being specific and being genuine behind your compliments. If you want to learn more about providing an amazing patient experience, I made a PDF file that you can download in the description that can help you out with that. For the next way to market your practice is through Google Ads. Google Ads allows you to find people that are motivated and actively looking for a dentist in their region. Now, if you're new to Google Ads, or maybe you haven't used it in the past because maybe you're a little bit skeptical, I would encourage you to kind of take the first step, maybe dip your toe in, by looking at how many people are searching a dentist near me in your region. This could kind of give you a feel for what to expect when you're running ads. You can get more specific if you want to in your region, or you can find different cities around the US. But this can really, especially if you're skeptical or you heard bad experience in the past, just help solidify that there's a demand, that there's people that are actively searching for it, and that it's valuable. This is how many people were searching dentist near me in Denver last year. Again, you do need access to Keyword Planner. So if you have a Google Ads account or you know someone, you can even ask me if you wanted to. Just really helps you confirm that there is a demand and helps you really know kind of before you get into it. One fun fact is Google converts 50% better than organic search results. When people type in dentist near me or even root canal near me into Google, there's a high likelihood of them coming in within the week or even within the day. So it's important to be one of the first couple of results when they're scrolling through it. Another fun fact is 27% of internet users now use ad blockers. Now, to my knowledge, they haven't made an ad blocker that can block Google Ads, so this is going to be something that they're able to see when they're searching. One last thing I want to say about Google Ads is you can be really specific. I think I mentioned this before, and highly targeted in your advertising. Meaning if someone types in root canal near me, you can be really specific in the way that you word the ad. You can speak directly to their pain points because you already know what they're searching. So that's a big advantage to running Google Ads. The fifth and final way you can market your practice is through Facebook ads. Now, Facebook ads can help you reach a wider audience. You can set a radius around your practice and reach tens of thousands of people within the week. Running Facebook ads at scale can be a lot easier than sending a direct mail out within your neighborhood. If you already have video assets from your website, you can take those videos, slice them up, and put them on Facebook. If you aren't camera shy, this can be a great way for you to separate yourself, for you to be able to communicate with your patients on a consistent basis and for relatively low cost. Today we looked at 5 of the best ways for you to market your dental practice. We looked at your website, getting reviews, having a positive patient experience, Google ads, and Facebook ads. So now's the time to take what I said and to bring it into action. I'd encourage you to commit to one thing that I mentioned today. Maybe it's improving your patient experience by putting yourselves in the shoes of a potential patient, or maybe even starting to run Facebook ads. Whatever it is, commit to it and be consistent. Sooner or later, you will have more patients than you know what to do with. If you want help growing your practice one-on-one, I have a link in the description below. It will be a strategy session via Zoom. We'll get on the call, we'll meet each other, I'll hear about your situation, and then if it sounds like I can help you, I will. If not, that's totally fine. At least you made a friend, and I'll direct you in the best way that I can. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like, comment, let me know what you thought of it so I can kind of tailor my content to what better fits your needs. Consider subscribing if you want to see my face again, and until next time, I will see you later.